part of the angle. You know what I mean? They're serving streams, but they're not capturing any.
You can't trust them. That's the problem. You can't trust them to leave the shit up. It's like you put all this work into making videos, and then all of a sudden they just delete the shit. It's like, well, you don't want to make fucking videos because you don't know if it'll be up in a week.
Yeah, but that's the difference, though. See, these Pyro's sort of talking. There's a certain value to these more spontaneous, free-flowing kind of discussion videos, and they aren't as critical. You know what I mean? They're not like, oh yeah, I got to save this one for posterity. I mean, not that some of the conversations wouldn't be valuable; they would be. But there's value in just having the medium to have the conversation, to be able for other people for a week or two to actually view it would be really great, that kind of thing. But it's not like you want to necessarily. We're not writing a book, you know. It's and YouTube gives us. Well, I'm just saying YouTube gives you that faculty, the ability to make better videos. So I'm just saying if you're going to do the book part, it should probably be in a form that's a little more concise than some of this conversation. That's my only argument. And so that you don't have to worry about getting destroyed because it's on your own hard drive. So at least no matter what somebody does, as long as you got a copy somewhere, you're okay. I mean, I didn't have copies of my original videos because, you know, they were, I had limited hard drive space. So that's what fucked me when YouTube broke all those Inmendham videos.
Well, see, the thing that Timothy Leary, what he said was so great about it was the time continuum, or however you want to put it, was the fact that, you know, it's a way of, you know, it's life after death, really. That's the way he saw it.
Well, whatever. I don't want these corporations making these decisions, but nothing's going to change for the foreseeable future because everybody's way up Google's ass. And nobody's in any mood to regulate them or to impose any restrictions on them because everybody thinks it's their freedom to be an anonymous troll, asshole, motherfucker. So I'm just going to do what I can do.
With fame comes the consequences. You know, you want to be popular, then you're going to have to deal with the trolls. That's the trade.
Yeah, well, I don't even know why that's a trade. That's not a trade in the real world. That's only a trade because we made it.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry, it's not. It is not the trade.
Well,
where? Give me an example of that. Give me an example of the trolls at the Martin Luther King speeches, where Martin Luther King's talking about, I have a dream, and then some white asshole drunk in the audience says, what are you dreaming about, nigger pussy? I don't know. I don't think that fucking happens, you motherfucker, okay? Because we are actually a civilization, and now we're not civilized anymore, and we've decided that a bunch of fucking assholes should run the fucking world. Little assholes who they can't raise their hand. They can't say, I'm going to interrupt now. No, they're just obnoxious pieces of shit, okay? And you gloriold fucking hacks. Yeah, fuck you. I just don't understand it. I don't understand how, you know, a person can understand some things and just be totally vacant and retarded. I mean, what do anonymous trolls add to our lives? What benefit, what service do they provide? What do we get for allowing people to take a shit in our living room? What is the advantage there? I just don't understand it.
Nothing.
Why should I want people to have the freedom to do that, to walk into my yard and take a shit? Why should I say that's a great idea?
They're parasites. I mean, the only advantage is that in the long run, you shouldn't. And the only advantage is very indirect in the long run. These lost souls here need energy to heal, but it's really medical energy, and they need to find a therapist.
I don't think it does them any good to be empowered on this medium. I think it just strengthens that whatever mechanism that's running through their head, like, wow, I'm accomplishing something because I said something vulgar to somebody in a PM on Stickam. I mean, any asshole who's living for that, isn't living for much.
Oh yeah, that part. That part. That part can be kind of good for people to learn how to handle it, because like you could probably always kind of handle that before the internet. I could to a certain degree, but I think, you know, I've also learned a little bit better, and a certain kind of emotional control. And even in your case where you decide to get all irate with them, that's emotional control. I mean, that's what you want to do in that kind of situation, you personally, I mean. So, you know what I mean? It does kind of teach that, I notice. You know, people like to be serious and forget about your differences with her, but I just mean she's more fragile about this kind of thing. You know, someone like her could actually learn to how to shed some of that, and just that it is bullshit. Not everything everybody says freaking matters. They don't even mean it, especially then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it does have an effect. It does matter. It does set the agenda. I mean, there's no way to get around this graffiti. I mean, it's there. You know, it's like you can't ignore it. The train is covered with it. And that's sort of what happens every time you post a video. It's in the hands, its destiny is in the hands of the graffiti artists. So what's going to happen on my message, on my comment boards? Are there going to be comments about the subject, or is there going to be some argument between two jackasses? You know, and they're going to do 50 comments calling each other a big nose. I mean, it just, you know, it just sucks. I mean, there's no value added at all when you just let people say whatever the fuck they want, when they don't have to take any, and just to be accountable again. They should be accountable. You shouldn't just have some anonymous jackass account. You don't make videos. There's no reference to who the fuck you are or what you do on the internet. There's just some anonymous jackass account. What the fuck's the point in it?
Hey Gary, why not?
Well, you know what? I gotta say a couple things. One, you're making a more and more convincing. Sorry, just a sec, because I gotta go. But one, you're convincing me more and more on that, and running a Stickam room really shows how there's no time for being tolerant. In text, there's ways to put these people off and kind of deal with them slower. But it does show that it's just like with kids, you know, you want to be undisciplined, but there's some concept of discipline that works out, and people will end up to learn to behave better. But the other thing is, Gary, I want to talk to you. Maybe I'll send you a PM about the website. I will check out your website, and I can't in general do this with bloggers, but because you're working on this stuff especially, that'll help me remember. I will check out your website. And, you know, there's ways that as I make little tools, you might want to embed them, or vice versa. So I know how to use the YouTube API to post and get videos. Like if you want to auto-download stuff, like every time you post a video to YouTube, I was thinking, what about this as a service? Every time someone posts a video to YouTube, if they have this service, the video is copied over at this other site. So if YouTube takes it down, then it's posted, you know, at whatever other sites, you know, like an automatic mirroring kind of thing. But anyway, so I'm going to contact you about that, because that's an interesting thing. So I've been, when I get back to that project, I'll contact you in the next week or two. And take it easy.
That would be good. Yep, likewise. Yeah, Blip actually lets you do that. You can have a timed upload, so you can post it Blip and it'll upload to YouTube, or Facebook, a couple other places. But whatever, you know, I don't, you know, yeah. But anyway, I get you. So, but yep. No, I was going to contact you about it eventually. But, you know, either way, we'll get to it. I don't know if the Cosma Anthony guy, who I haven't seen in a long time. Yeah, he's still there blinking. I saw him blink. Yeah, it's about Matt. Yeah, Matt's in like England or something, I think. He's like learning farming or something. You know, he got some sort of thing to go to Oxford and plant rutabagas or something.
I love that guy. He's so intelligent, and I really wish he would stop. He didn't stop making the YouTube videos. He brought a lot of solid ideas to his videos, and he was always well spoken. His ideas were always coherent and creative too. I really wish he'd come back, because I miss him. You know, he's got a lot to offer. I gained a lot from his videos, but that's cool for him. Good for him
Well, I mean,
getting into Oxford.
Obviously, I have a counter opinion. I liked Matt as a person, you know, but yeah, he talked a lot of shit. you know, molecules wanting and such, you know, just kind of real batshit crazy stuff. Anyway, but yeah, I liked Matt. Yeah, he went by the name Thou Art That. So if you type that in, you should be able to find his channel. His videos are still up.
Hey Gary, to cut down on the troll factor, I'm sure you've thought about this and obviously decided it was not the least of the worst options. What about just turning off comments?
Yeah, well, I've done that, and then people gripe about that too. And um, yeah, I mean, it's sort of to that point, actually. I mean, it's not like there'd be that much lost. I guess, you know, it just depends. I mean, sometimes there are things that people got, you know, they have some shit to say, so you hate to shut it off entirely. It doesn't look very good. You know, it just looks kind of strange to have no comments. Um, but yeah, I mean, you know, some of my videos only got 4 or 5 comments on them anyway, so what's the loss? You know, it's not like you're giving up much. But yeah, I've done it in the past, on and off, but I haven't been real satisfied with it as a solution.
Yeah, because I've had a few YouTube channels, and I share your frustration. I had exactly the same experience. It's just, these fucking monkeys coming into my channel and throwing shit at the wall, and it's just like, what fucking value does this add? Oh, and if you do anything to, if you delete a comment or turn off comments, it's like, you're depriving us of our right to free speech. Well, Jesus Christ, what value add is here? Is being
Yeah, well, you know, I did an experiment. You know, I did a website for my local town and stuff. So I ended up running a message board for the town, you know, that I provided, and you know, so I didn't censor it, and people would start talking about people's wives, you know, and all kinds of vulgar crap, and talking about the corn in their shit, and all kinds of nonsense. And you're like, okay, well now I'm going to censor it. And then everybody whines that you're censoring now, you know. And and the only censorship I did is I just took all the shitty comments and I forced them into their own message board. So people had to go find the shitty comments. You know, they just didn't, you know, they weren't there any. They were still accessible. They were just moved. And people even whined about that. And so you're just like, well, what? You know, I'm some sort of draconian anti-free speech guy, you know, because you know, when we're talking about the politics of something going on in the town, we don't want to read your shit about your shit. I mean, you're literally talking about your shit. You think somebody cares about your shit? I mean, but that's, yeah, and so there's no way to win. So you're going to get labeled no matter what you do. So yeah, I just left it to their own devices, and they turned the message board into a useless pile of crap because nobody would want to read it because it is so vulgar and disgusting.
All right, so there's got to be a clever way to do it. Somehow, there's got to be something to do because I respect the fact that you don't want to limit people's free speech by censoring their comments, but there's got to be some way to filter that stuff out in a way in which anybody can say what they want, yet it not get so polluted that nobody wants to read it. There's got to be a creative way to solve that problem.
Yeah, well, I think if I had the hardware ability or the software ability, if I could write the software actually, I would have gone to some kind of system where somebody could block somebody. You know what I mean? Just personally block them. So when they read comments, a certain individual's comments would be deleted or minimized or, you know, in some other way made less of a distraction. Where so they could still access them, but they were just not part of the chain. But that's the problem is once somebody says something outrageous, then other people who you like write responses saying, my wife does not have a big nose and she does not smell like a skanky elephant, you motherfucker, you know. And so you have people who are responding to the shithead, and so then there's just a whole chain the whole thread gets owned by the garbage. So everybody ends up talking about shit even